Discipline is not something you stumble upon. It is not a habit you casually adopt. It is a weapon, a force that separates the weak from the untouchable. Most people believe discipline is waking up early, checking a few boxes, and feeling accomplished. They are wrong. Discipline is the silent mastery over your own impulses, the relentless pursuit of control over mind, body, and circumstance. Without it, brilliance is wasted, potential squandered, and opportunity dies in the chaos of your indecision. To build ruthless discipline, you must first understand that it begins internally. Every master of power, from Machiavelli to modern strategists, knew that before you command the world, you must command yourself. This is where the path diverges. Ordinary men follow routines, while the ruthless create a system that shapes their very essence. Begin by recognizing your weaknesses, not with shame, but with surgical precision. What distracts you? What undermines your productivity? What thoughts secretly pull you toward comfort rather than conquest? Write them down. Study them as an enemy's weaknesses. For the mind to dominate, it must first see clearly. Every compromise you make is a tiny fracture in the armor of your resolve. Every time you say, just this once, you permit chaos to whisper into your life. Discipline, the ruthless kind, tolerates nothing. It is cold, calculated, and relentless. Your desires, your emotions, and even your moments of temptation are not suggestions. They are targets. Learn to master them before they master you. The second truth is structure. Chaos is the friend of the lazy, the enemy of the strong. Without structure, even the most motivated will falter. Build systems that automate excellence and make failure inconvenient. If your environment tempts indulgence, eliminate it. If your tasks are scattered, consolidate them into precision strikes. The disciplined do not waste energy deciding what to do. They have preordained routines that dictate action. Each day becomes a battlefield where every hour is weaponized, every choice either fortifying your empire or surrendering it to mediocrity. Structure is not comfort. It is your fortress, your shield, your silent partner in victory. But structure alone is insufficient. Ruthless discipline demands endurance, the ability to persist when the world conspires against you. Pain, boredom, fatigue, distraction, these are the daily assassins of progress. To outlast them, you must cultivate a mindset that sees them as tests rather than obstacles. The mind must be trained to accept suffering as a companion on the path to power. Each small discomfort endured is a brick laid in the fortress of your will. Those who flee from discomfort are enslaved by it. Those who embrace it transform it into fuel. Discipline is not pleasant. It is uncomfortable, inconvenient, and often lonely, but it is absolute. Next comes clarity of purpose. A man without purpose drifts, and a drifting man is at the mercy of every whim, every external influence, every passing temptation. The disciplined individual knows his mission in excruciating detail. Every decision is filtered through this lens. Does this move me toward mastery or away from it? Will this choice strengthen my control or weaken it? Purpose is the anchor. Discipline is the chain that secures it to reality. Without purpose, discipline becomes tedious, empty, and easily abandoned. With it, even the smallest acts compound into unstoppable momentum. Finally, understand the nature of time, your most precious, irretrievable asset. The undisciplined waste it, the cautious hoard it, but the ruthless seize it. Every hour spent aimlessly is a thief in your life, stealing opportunity you will never recover. Discipline is, above all, time managed with ruthless precision. Wake early, act decisively, plan strategically, and guard your hours like a fortress. This is not merely efficiency. It is survival, supremacy, and legacy. The disciplined life is not a series of random acts. It is a continuous, unbroken march toward mastery over yourself and the world. Remember, this is just the beginning. Building ruthless discipline is not a single act, but a lifetime of deliberate choices. Every decision, every habit, every mental battle compounds. Some days you will fail, and you will feel the weight of temptation pulling at your resolve. That is expected. What separates the untouchable from the ordinary is the ability to rise each time, sharper, colder, and more precise. This is the first law of ruthless discipline. Mastery begins with self, and self is not negotiable. Number 2, the mental fortress. Training your mind for ruthless focused discipline is not just physical. It begins and ends in the mind. The strongest men and women in history did not rely on luck, talent, or circumstance. They relied on mental mastery. A mind that cannot control itself is a battlefield lost before the fight begins. To build ruthless discipline, you must first forge a mental fortress, impervious to distraction, doubt, and the seduction of comfort. This fortress is not built overnight, nor with motivation alone. Motivation is fleeting. Focus is eternal. Each day, your attention must be honed, sharpened, and trained to attack targets without hesitation or remorse. The mind of the disciplined is a weapon, and like all weapons, it must be maintained and tested constantly. Begin by eliminating mental clutter. Thoughts that do not serve your purpose are enemies disguised as noise. Social media, gossip, indecision, and habitual complaining are termites eating at the wood of your resolve. Remove them. Do not allow triviality to dictate your mental space. A focused mind chooses what to see, hear, and think. It does not drift into chaos. Train yourself to notice when distraction arises, name it, and discard it immediately. This is not meditation, it is combat. Every intrusive thought is a skirmish. Every decision to refocus is a victory. Next, embrace solitude. The disciplined understand that the noise of the world is a weapon against you. Others are content to fill silence with chatter, but the untouchable thrive in it. Solitude forces clarity. It exposes weaknesses, reveals desires, and illuminates the gaps between who you are and who you wish to become. Do not fear isolation. It is where mastery begins. In the quiet, the mind rehearses strategies, evaluates progress, and sharpens the sword of intent. To walk alone is to walk prepared. To walk prepared is to walk undefeated. Equally essential is the control of emotion. Weakness is often disguised as passion. Anger, jealousy, fear, and even misplaced kindness can erode your authority and discipline. The ruthless mind does not suppress emotion entirely, it redirects it. Anger becomes fuel for action, fear becomes a signal for strategy, and desire becomes a tool for motivation. Discipline is the bridge between raw emotion and deliberate action. Every time you feel a surge of impulse, pause, evaluate, and convert it into constructive energy. Over time, your mind becomes an engine that converts chaos into purpose and weakness into dominance. Visualization is another weapon in the arsenal of the disciplined. The mind cannot act upon what it cannot see. Every day, dedicate time to mentally rehearsing success. See yourself completing tasks with precision, overcoming obstacles effortlessly, and executing plans without hesitation. This is not fantasy, it is programming. The brain does not distinguish between vividly imagined action and executed action in training. By visualizing outcomes with ruthless clarity, you prepare your mind to act decisively when the moment arrives. Victory, in this sense, is already won long before the first step is taken. Another pillar of mental discipline is the cultivation of anticipation. Those who fail are reactive. They respond to events, to chaos, to the whims of others. The disciplined are proactive. They anticipate, predict, and preempt. Each morning, assess the day ahead with ruthless honesty. Identify potential challenges, distractions, and threats. Plan for them. Control them. By mastering anticipation, you do not merely survive events, you shape them to your advantage. Every situation becomes an opportunity to demonstrate control. Every obstacle a chance to reinforce your mental fortress. Finally, train for persistence. Mental discipline is not a sprint, it is a lifelong campaign. You will face doubt, fatigue, and the temptation to surrender. On these days, discipline is not convenient, it is essential. Every decision to continue, every moment spent resisting indulgence, strengthens the walls of your mind. Persistence compounds. The small victories of mental control accumulate, and soon your focus becomes unassailable. Others will falter under pressure, but you will endure, sharpened by every trial, tempered by every failure, and strengthened by every test. By now, you must understand that the mind is the engine, and discipline is the fuel. Without focus, structure is hollow. Without persistence, preparation is wasted. Without clarity, effort is misguided. The mental fortress you build today is the foundation for all power, all achievement, and all mastery to come. Protect it, strengthen it, and wield it without hesitation. For in the realm of ruthless discipline, the strongest man is not the one who moves fastest, but the one whose mind cannot be moved at all. Number 3, habits that forge the iron will discipline is not abstract. It is concrete. It is forged in the repetitive, often invisible actions that shape your character over time. The untouchable do not rely on inspiration. They rely on habits. Habits are the silent engines of power. They operate while the undisciplined falter, waver, and waste energy on indecision. To become a mastermind of ruthless discipline, you must create daily rituals that are uncompromising and precise. Each habit is a brick in the fortress of your will, each repetition a reinforcement of your control over self and circumstance. Begin with the morning. The start of your day sets the tone for the battles ahead. The disciplined rise before the world demands their attention. Early hours are a vacuum of opportunity, a time when few dare to act. In these moments, clarity is abundant and distraction scarce. Rituals in the morning, whether rigorous exercise, meditation, or focused planning, prime the mind for dominance. The early rise is not merely a routine. It is a declaration to the world. You command your time and no one will dictate your pace. Next, practice intentionality in every action. Those who wander through their day react to circumstances. They are pulled by external forces, manipulated by others, and exhausted by triviality. The disciplined, however, act with purpose. Each movement, each decision, each word is measured. Begin small. Focus on completing one task with total commitment before moving to the next. Reduce multitasking. It is the enemy of mastery. By acting with intention, you convert energy into achievement, chaos into order, and effort into results. Self-restraint is another critical habit. The untouchable understand that every temptation is a test of power. Indulgence in excess, whether in food, entertainment, or idle thought, erodes control. The disciplined practice moderation, not for pleasure, but for dominance. They deny themselves momentary satisfaction to preserve long-term strength. To resist comfort is to train the mind and body to endure, adapt, and ultimately prevail. Each small denial compounds, creating resilience that cannot be feigned. Equally essential is reflection. The mind unexamined is a battlefield lost. Every evening, take time to review your actions, your decisions, and your failures. This is not self-pity, it is reconnaissance. Identify where you succeeded, where you faltered, and where distraction infiltrated your focus. By understanding patterns in your behavior, you gain insight into your weaknesses and strengths alike. Reflection transforms mistakes into strategy, fatigue into preparation, and loss into knowledge. It is the silent mentor of those who refuse to be broken. Consistency, more than intensity, defines mastery. A burst of effort followed by surrender is the path of the weak. True discipline manifests in daily, unwavering action. The untouchable do not rely on passion or inspiration. They rely on the quiet accumulation of small, consistent victories. Each completed task, each disciplined choice, each avoided distraction compounds. Over weeks, months, and years, these incremental victories erect an unshakable structure of control and capability. One day, when others crumble under pressure, you will be standing not because of luck, but because of relentless consistency. Finally, embrace discomfort as the crucible of transformation. Comfort is the enemy of discipline. Growth emerges from resistance, hardship, and deliberate challenge. Train yourself to seek tasks that push limits, physical, mental, and emotional. Wake before dawn, endure isolation, tackle demanding projects, confront fears, and confront internal doubts. Discomfort is not punishment, it is training. The mind and body that endure it develop an immunity to weakness, a resilience to distraction, and a capability that others cannot comprehend. Habits, when repeated with ruthlessness and precision, become automatic. The untouchable no longer wonder whether they will act. They act because the system is encoded in their very being. Discipline ceases to be effort, it becomes identity. You do not need to summon willpower in moments of crisis because your habits have pre-committed you to action. The mind, body, and spirit align toward mastery. At this stage, you must recognize a crucial truth. Discipline is freedom. Those who allow habits to control them, who are led by impulse and distraction, are enslaved. The disciplined, however, are sovereign over their time, their thoughts, and their results. Each habit strengthens this sovereignty. Each repetition fortifies the fortress. Each day lived intentionally compounds power. The mind is sharper, the body stronger, the will unbreakable. In this relentless construction of habits, you are no longer ordinary. You are untouchable, unshakable, and prepared for any challenge the world dares to present. Number 4. The inner architecture of ruthlessness discipline is not only external. It is forged in the mind long before it manifests in action. The untouchable understand that control over others begins with mastery over self. Without internal dominance, all external accomplishments crumble like sandcastles against the tide. The mind is a battlefield, and thought itself can be either ally or enemy. To become a mastermind of ruthless discipline, you must construct an inner architecture so strong that no distraction, fear, or temptation can destabilize it. Begin by confronting the truth about human weakness. Most people live in denial, weaving illusions that protect them from reality but chain them to mediocrity. The disciplined see through these illusions. They recognize laziness, procrastination, fear, and doubt for what they are: obstacles to sovereignty. Awareness is not indulgent, it is brutal. To see weakness clearly is the first step to eradicating it. You cannot control what you refuse to acknowledge. Next, cultivate emotional regulation. Emotions are often celebrated as guides, yet they are frequently saboteurs. Rage, envy, anxiety, and longing erode clarity and cloud judgment. The disciplined do not suppress emotions, they harness them, converting raw energy into calculated action. Fear becomes focus, frustration becomes fuel, and anger becomes a weapon. By mastering emotions, you create a mind that is resilient, adaptive, and impervious to manipulation. Others react. You respond with precision. Focus is the linchpin of ruthless discipline. The undisciplined scatter energy across countless directions, chasing novelty, appeasing desire, or attempting to please everyone. The master of self directs energy with surgical precision. Goals are not vague aspirations. They are strategic objectives, each with defined steps and unyielding commitment. Every hour, every choice, every thought is measured against the objective. Distraction is not simply avoided, it is annihilated. The ability to maintain unwavering focus, even when the world seeks to distract, is the hallmark of untouchable power. Self-imposed structure is another cornerstone. The discipline creates systems that eliminate ambiguity. Rituals, schedules, and checklists are not constraints. They are scaffolding for mastery. They remove decision fatigue, reduce hesitation, and ensure consistent execution. Structure is freedom disguised as order. It allows action to flow without resistance. When chaos encroaches, structure is the anchor that keeps the mind from sinking. By designing your environment, your schedule, and even your interactions, you preempt failure before it can emerge. Accountability is equally vital, yet it must be wielded wisely. The untouchable answer first to themselves before any external authority. They measure every action against their standards and assess outcomes without bias. Honest self-evaluation is rare yet indispensable. Too many allow pride or fear to skew perception. Ruthless accountability is unflinching. It identifies mistakes without excuse, celebrates progress without arrogance, and recalibrates continuously. By mastering accountability, the mind becomes a self-correcting engine, impervious to error or stagnation. The inner architecture of discipline also requires deliberate isolation. Social influence is powerful, often subtly shaping choices and eroding resolve. The untouchable understand when to withdraw from the crowd to protect their focus and sharpen their strategy. Solitude is not loneliness. It is a laboratory for thought, a forge for strategy, and a sanctuary where clarity reigns. In isolation, the mind can design, plan, and rehearse action with unbroken precision, free from the contagion of mediocrity. Finally, practice the ruthless elimination of excuses. Every excuse, no matter how small, is a crack in the fortress of self-discipline. Excuses are comforts, a temporary reprieve from responsibility. The untouchable do not seek comfort, they seek mastery. When a challenge arises, they do not rationalize why success is impossible. They strategize how success can be achieved. By removing excuses, you align reality with intention, action with purpose, and results with relentless focus. The inner architecture of ruthlessness is not a single practice. It is an ecosystem. Awareness, emotional control, focus, structure, accountability, isolation, and the eradication of excuses form interconnected systems that reinforce each other. Each element strengthens the others, producing a mind that is precise, relentless, and unshakable. Weakness is systematically identified, neutralized, and replaced with skill, strategy, and resolve. At this stage, you begin to understand a core principle. The mind that is disciplined internally commands the world externally. Without internal mastery, all rituals, schedules, and actions remain superficial. With it, however, no obstacle, opposition, or temptation can derail progress. Your mental architecture becomes your fortress, impregnable to distraction, fatigue, and fear. The untouchable do not stumble, they act. They do not hesitate, they execute. They do not react, they dominate. Every choice you make within this architecture is deliberate. Every thought is assessed, every impulse analyzed, every decision aligned with strategy. The mind, trained in ruthless discipline, becomes both sword and shield, capable of conquering external chaos while maintaining internal equilibrium. In this way, discipline transcends action. It becomes identity, inevitability, and the silent authority that others cannot challenge or comprehend. Number 5. The strategic weaponization of time is the most ruthless adversary and the most loyal ally, depending entirely on how it is managed. The untouchable understand that mastery over moments translates directly into mastery over outcomes. While most drift aimlessly, surrendering hours to trivialities, the disciplined harness each instant as a strategic weapon. Every minute becomes a calculated investment, a step closer to influence, power, and inevitability. To wield time effectively, one must first understand its invisible currents. For those who control the flow of hours, control the flow of lives. Begin by dissecting your day with surgical precision. Observe where attention wanes, where energy dissipates, and where wasted time masquerades as productivity. The untouchable do not guess, they measure. Logging activities, analyzing patterns, and identifying low-value routines is not tedious. It is preparation for dominance. Once the leaks are exposed, they are sealed. Each moment previously lost to distraction is now reclaimed for deliberate action. This is not merely efficiency, it is the strategic realignment of existence. Prioritization is the second pillar. Everything is not equally important. The weak toil under the illusion that constant motion equals progress. The disciplined recognize that direction matters more than movement. Goals are filtered through a hierarchy of impact, with the highest value actions executed first, and lesser tasks either delegated, delayed, or discarded entirely. Ruthless prioritization ensures that effort is always invested where results are maximized, creating a force multiplier of productivity. Time blocking is the tool of choice for execution. By allocating specific periods for specific objectives, the mind is trained to focus with intensity, reducing friction caused by indecision or task switching. Each block becomes a controlled arena where distraction is prohibited and efficiency reigns. The disciplined transform these blocks into sanctuaries of concentration, where skill is sharpened, strategy is honed, and results are generated. In this system, chaos is external. It cannot infiltrate the inner rhythm. Equally vital is the mastery of energy cycles. Productivity is not constant, and the untouchable recognize this truth. They align the most demanding or strategic work with peak mental and physical states, reserving lower energy periods for planning, reflection, or maintenance tasks. The average person ignores this rhythm, punishing the mind and squandering potential. The disciplined leverage energy cycles as a force multiplier, producing more in 4 concentrated hours than most achieve in an entire day of scattered effort. Decision-making speed is another crucial weapon. Indecision is a silent predator that erodes time and opportunity alike. The disciplined cultivate the ability to assess, decide, and act with precision. By creating mental frameworks, anticipating contingencies, and relying on practiced heuristics, choices are executed without hesitation. Speed does not sacrifice accuracy, it enhances it, for hesitation often obscures clarity and reduces leverage. Every moment spent dithering is a moment ceded to the competition. The untouchable also understand the art of deliberate delay. Some opportunities must not be seized immediately, but rather cultivated until the timing guarantees maximum advantage. Patience is not passivity, it is tactical foresight. By waiting for the optimal alignment of conditions, the disciplined ensure that effort is magnified, risks minimized, and outcomes controlled. Time in this sense becomes a tool for psychological dominance, creating pressure on others while preserving flexibility for oneself. Multitasking is a myth the disciplined reject. Attempting to chase several objectives simultaneously dilutes focus, introduces error, and prolongs results. The untouchable embrace sequential mastery, total concentration on one task until completion, followed by deliberate transition to the next. This approach produces superior results in less time, while maintaining mental clarity and precision. Efficiency is not speed alone. It is the combination of focus, timing, and strategic sequencing. Finally, reflection and adjustment are non-negotiable. The untouchable allocate moments not only for action, but for analysis. Every success and failure is examined with ruthless honesty. Patterns are identified, weaknesses corrected, and strategies refined. Time invested in reflection compounds returns, transforming experience into foresight and mistakes into lessons. The disciplined do not repeat errors. They exploit them to become smarter, faster, and more decisive. When time is weaponized, every day becomes an arena of advantage. The mind, trained to recognize value, act decisively, and structure hours strategically, becomes impervious to waste. External chaos may rage, but within the disciplined architecture of focus, timing, and energy, opportunity is harvested relentlessly. Those who squander minutes remain enslaved to circumstance, while the untouchable bend hours to their will, turning every second into leverage, every day into progress, and every year into irreversible momentum. Mastering time in this way transforms life from a passive sequence of events into a carefully orchestrated campaign. Strategy, preparation, and execution converge, and the disciplined emerge not only productive but untouchable. Time, once the invisible enemy, becomes a silent ally, a measured weapon, and the ultimate expression of ruthless control. The architect of moments is the master of destiny, and in the economy of hours there is no substitute for relentless, calculated, and strategic discipline. Number 6. The final forge. Habits, as armor. Discipline is not a momentary effort. It is an armor forged in the relentless fire of habit. The untouchable understand that consistent, repeatable actions sculpt character and destiny. Habits are the skeleton of control, the framework that supports every victory, every conquest, every step toward mastery. While others rely on fleeting motivation or occasional bursts of willpower, the disciplined embed behavior into their very nature, making excellence inevitable and failure an anomaly. Begin with observation. Identify the routines that shape your life, both consciously and unconsciously. Each morning ritual, each response to stress, each interaction with others contributes to a mosaic of behavior that either empowers or erodes. The untouchable examine this mosaic ruthlessly, removing weak patterns and replacing them with intentional actions aligned with long-term objectives. This is not change for convenience. It is change for survival, for dominance, for inevitability. Incremental consistency is the secret weapon. Radical transformation is seductive but unstable. It collapses under the weight of real life. The disciplined adopt micro-adjustments that compound over time, each repetition strengthening resolve and embedding capability. A single action repeated daily becomes automatic, and the automatic becomes unstoppable. This is the invisible power that differentiates the merely ambitious from the untouchable. Habits, once entrenched, operate independently of circumstance, motivation, or distraction. Accountability is the crucible in which habits are tested. The untouchable establish measurable standards, deadlines, and metrics for self-evaluation. Without metrics, progress is illusion. Each day, each task, each interaction is assessed against these benchmarks, and deviations are corrected immediately. This rigorous feedback loop ensures that every action contributes to growth, and every weakness is confronted before it metastasizes into failure. Ritualization is the next step. Habits are strengthened when integrated into structured routines that create predictability and reduce decision fatigue. The untouchable design their days like generals plan campaigns. Every action has a purpose, every hour a function. By transforming repeated behaviors into rituals, discipline becomes effortless. Willpower is conserved for unpredictable challenges rather than squandered on trivial choices. In this architecture, the mind is unburdened, free to execute strategy at full capacity. Resistance is inevitable. Temptation will always seek to fracture resolve. The disciplined anticipate these moments and build defenses. Environment is curated meticulously, distractions removed, triggers avoided, and incentives aligned with desired outcomes. Social pressures are leveraged or neutralized. The untouchable do not rely solely on inner strength. They construct external scaffolding that ensures success even when resolve falters. Habits, once armored by strategic design, are nearly impervious to compromise. Flexibility is the hidden power of the untouchable. Habits are not rigid chains. They are adaptive frameworks. When circumstances shift, the disciplined adjust routines without abandoning the underlying principles. The core behaviors, focus, preparation, persistence, remain intact, while superficial adaptations maintain alignment with current realities. This balance of structure and adaptability ensures that discipline endures in chaos, uncertainty, and adversity. Momentum amplifies every effort. Each successful habit compounds upon the last, creating a self-reinforcing cycle of confidence, energy, and capability. The untouchable exploit this effect consciously, sequencing habits to maximize impact. Physical conditioning supports mental acuity, which enhances planning, which increases execution speed, which further strengthens confidence. Momentum becomes an almost gravitational force, pulling the individual toward greater achievements with less conscious effort. Reflection solidifies the forge. Daily, weekly, and monthly reviews of habits allow for refinement and optimization. The untouchables scrutinize outcomes, celebrate wins, and dissect failures without ego. Each habit is tested against effectiveness and alignment with ultimate objectives. Ineffective routines are discarded, successful ones reinforced. This iterative process ensures that discipline is dynamic, evolving, and increasingly potent over time. Finally, the disciplined understand that habits transcend personal gain. They project power outward. Consistency commands respect. Predictability fosters trust, and mastery of behavior signals authority. Others instinctively recognize the untouchable, not merely by accomplishments, but by the aura of self-mastery cultivated through habitual excellence. Habits are both armor and signal. They protect the individual and influence the world simultaneously. Ruthless discipline is not a collection of actions. It is a way of being. And habits are the forge in which it is created. Each repetition, each ritual, each measured choice strengthens the mind, body, and spirit. The untouchable do not wait for motivation. They engineer it. They do not hope for opportunity. They create it. And through the relentless cultivation of habit, discipline becomes permanent, unshakable, and invisible, rendering the individual unstoppable. In the end, the armor of habit is the ultimate investment, the final layer in the construction of a life that cannot be derailed. The untouchable emerge not because they are superhuman, but because they have committed to a system so comprehensive, so unyielding, and so meticulously executed that failure is no longer an option. This is the final stage of mastery, where discipline is no longer taught, no longer forced, no longer fragile. It simply is.